If you're the owner of your business and you sometimes get frustrated by feeling like you're dragged back into the day-to-day operations of the business, then we can use the AI assistant to really help your foreman or your site supervisors to take a lot more ownership and understanding because they can use this tool as well. So I've just put in a kind of scenario, typical scenario that you may come across from time to time. The situation in this instance is there's a porcelain patio installation. And when they've excavated a bit further, discovered soft ground or poor drainage in one of the areas, one section of the area, the sub base is already partially installed. But the constraints are we need to make sure that we protect profit and make sure that the right decision is made without coming back onto your shoulders. I've put in this prompt here. This will come from your prompt sheet or your library. You can have a whole bunch of these saved up in a Word document. But I've just paste this one in and let's just see what kind of suggestions it gives us to deal with this situation. So there's the prompt. We've put the whole prompt in. The more detail you put in, obviously, the better information you're going to get out. If you're vague, it will give you vague answers. It's been pulled from the operations methodology in the background from the core operating system. So it gives you all the different options that there may be available. So instead of you or the person needing to make the decision, having to get you involved in that as well, it will just help them to be a lot more self-sufficient, gives them lots of options. Even if they don't know exactly which one it is, at least they've maybe come up with a few solutions before they even contact you, instead of just asking you to come up with all the solutions all the time to any challenge that they come across. I know that's one of the biggest frustrations that many landscape business owners have, that they still get dragged into the day-to-day kind of operational kind of decision making. So look, it really does give you a whole bunch of options with pros and cons for each. If your foreman or site supervisor has this tool on their phone in their pocket, then it just minimizes the amount of time, the amount of phone calls that you're going to have to get from trying to overcome and solve some of these challenges. So that we've got all that information in there. This is just for demo. It just gives you an idea, an overview of what kind of things we are going to be asking it to do. I've put another prompt now. So based on the recommended solution, let's say we chose what the right solution is. Write a clear site instruction for the team. So you just put in there, based on the recommendation solution, write clear instructions for the team. As you can see, we'll give it a go and we'll see what it comes up with after this in terms of an instruction. And it tells you to stop the work, make it safe and stable, document the issue, protect the installed work, no changes or scope changes or design changes needed. Now I'm going to go into my final prompt on this situation, and this is going to be a client explanation of the issue. So I'm just going to paste this prompt in. So we want a very clear client update explaining the issue and what solutions you suggest. So about what was discovered, why it's important, what action is recommended, and just to avoid any sort of technical jargon, but put it into layman's speak. Let's see what it spits out for us. So instead of you having to sit down and think, how am I going to frame this, position this email, 80, 90, 95% of the work is done for you. So one issue can take up quite a lot of your time. With this tool, it helps you to get to the solutions very quickly and communicate that back to the client in a very timely manner. Obviously helps your employees to take a lot more ownership, come up with solutions, be proactive, and come up with those solutions without you potentially even having to get involved going forward, because the information, the expertise, the knowledge that's in your head is already available to them in the palm of their hands on site. So hopefully, again, another big time saving for you, so you can get on with the higher value things that you need to do in the business to get the results you want. Hope this helps.